Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? Guys, this grandson is absolutely fire. I am actually disappointed this show, I think, is only clocked at 6 episodes. Pretty let down in that regard, but nonetheless, it's clear to me that when we see stuff like this, we just gotta enjoy it while we can, you know? Enjoy the little things. This week's episode is pretty much taking it to a new level of us needing to know where and when some of these new characters are going to rise, aka these new empire that's supposedly trying to start beef with everybody. So it's going to be interesting to pretty much know that everything coming in the future will be the end all be all of probably at least this first season. I mean, I'm guessing this kid could probably end the war with ridiculous speed, right? Like, I'm pretty sure the speed isn't going to be a problem within this episode in the overall case of how fast he needs to get through with his enemies, how fast he needs to kind of just snuff out certain aspects of the fights, because already he has found a way to do so just by learning. He's seen certain stuff in this last week's episode that already has given him a clue as to what is better than what in this world, aka the barrier, being able to block his attack uh, earlier in last week's episode. So, with that being on his mind, of course he's going to literally grind relentlessly until he figures out how to not have his ability beat in general. So, we get to watch him literally figure out that if he if he has these weapons and these accessories that are already made and created, instead of just grabbing the first sword or the first earring, that's just been laying around, he had a much better chance of finding something that would put him in a position to make like stronger enchantments and stronger abilities that will naturally be at full control because you're wearing the accessory or because you have the weapon equipped. So the one thing that was really cool and intelligent in my opinion is you don't give away all of your trump cards within the explainer episode. That's just my opinion. Like, you don't do that because it just leaves that much leaves that little to tell in the next coming episodes and the fights and everything that's going to kind of transpire. Why tell us about it when you can literally just show us within this next battle that's coming up relatively soon? So they give us a brand new sword that him and Tony, the new kid, the son of the blacksmith, who's gonna probably take up his spot once he gets really good at it. But he literally gets the sword, pushes the trigger, and the blade shoots out, and that's as much as we learn. That's as much as we know. Like, that's genius. I don't want to know anymore if I'm not gonna get to see it. You know what I mean? Like, that's dope. So not only does he have a new weapon that when he was using a normal sword, he was making great use out of it. He was making great progress out of just using a basic sword that he thought could have broke at any given time. So not only has he made good of that, he's now shown that even if he does get caught by any of these attacks and stuff, not only will his uniform do auto healing and be able to absorb a lot of the stuff, he now has accessories that he's about to then buff to add. Like, he literally is creating the ultimate army of friends, which hence is the only reason why he wants to hop into a war, hop into this war in particular if his friends are in trouble. Imagine your girlfriend is going to war and because of your special situation of not having to really follow, like the army here does not want, or at least the grandfather does not want his grandson, just being a part of some army and helping manipulate the battlefield and be straight up the only one on the battlefield on something because they know how strong he is, something like that. And that's pretty much what's happening verbatim. Like the king, sure he didn't orchestrate, the him to do this unless, they give us some crazy backstory. The king was the bad guy all along. He knew Shin would have friends and protect them. I can understand if that's where they're trying to take this route, but it just doesn't feel like that's the case. So with him having morals and wanting to protect people that seemingly are important to him, we're getting led into him carrying this country to a much like higher standing if they have someone like him on their side, they might they might say he's the king and pass down the reign to him. Nah, they wouldn't do that, but you know what I'm saying though. Like he's going to be the anchor. He's going to be the true front man and probably strategist to actually get them as many wins with least casualties, probably all that type of stuff. That's what I'm envisioning already in my head when he says, "I want to, stand up and fight for my friends." And if you guys are in trouble, that's where I want to be. I want to be in the place where I can make that trouble pretty much disappear, or at least protect you from getting in any more trouble than you should be. So it should be very interesting nonetheless to have all of these things playing out, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day because with what the guy did by surviving this attack by Shin last week and by pretty much showing that he can put up some attacks that even other people around will probably get bodied by if it wasn't for Shin being the main focus. He already was having no problems in the capital by himself. The same guy that then escaped our main character who's super strong. So if anybody is the boss, it's almost that guy with the demon eyes, but at this point it feels like even he's being used to some degree, or at least maybe has like some contract with the people of this empire. I can't really tell because his bedroom looks more like a jail cell than it does someone that they would treat with respect and admiration on the battlefield. So that kind of threw me off, just like how dim it looked in his room and stuff like that. So maybe he wasn't even in a good position that he thought he was in. So that might be a thing. Overall, though, there's so much that can happen with this war. Not to mention the fact that we've only seen really our side of like the fighters and stuff. Like we've only really seen the people we know. So there could be some ridiculously talented people on the other side, but at the same time, I feel like they're going to just show us what this kid can do to a whole entire army that comes after him at this point. So overall, I honestly hope you guys check this show out. It is quite the show to watch. Not only that, the romance is pretty cute. In the overall sense of just like how it's coming along, it's just cute. Like he talks about accessories and talking about getting the girl that he clearly likes an accessory, but he didn't think of it like, oh, I'm getting you a ring, I'm getting you, an engagement ring, or I'm getting you a necklace that I want you to wear forever because I like you or something. It was just really nice. It was a really nice moment for both of them, and it's just overall cute in general that they're just showing their affection for each other on multiple occasions now. So hopefully they don't use her too much as like a scapegoat. I hate women characters that they use to just kill off or something like, oh, and then she died because plot. Haha. And then it made our main character stronger. It's like, no, just find a better way to make them stronger. Like, stop killing off these cute women, you evil people. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays out. I also hope that if it does end relatively dramatically, like if it ends quickly, I am probably one of the people looking most forward to another season. I really hope they continue it. I hope they know that this is a show worth continuing at least. And with that being said, I want to know if the grandfather and the grandmother are going to play a bigger role than just being mentors at this point. Because if something gets so bad where they need to fight, could you imagine them showing up and trying to help and getting like overpowered by someone? Because I mean, we just saw that the grandfather could learn how to even make the teleportation gate just by following some instructions that his son was probably writing down for himself to visualize how it should work, which is pretty much what he was saying is the one way that he is much more powerful than everybody else is. He thinks of the reasoning why fire is burned, why does fire need to burn, instead of just, oh, fire burns when it's set on something, you know? It's a very interesting concept, which I don't think a lot of people are going to understand off the bat, but I think at the same time, some people are really going to appreciate the overall story that's going to come with it. So, with that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be when you're watching this, and I will definitely talk to you in the next one. Grandson is getting ridiculous, and my ears. My ears again. And I honestly believe that we are just barely getting into any type of storytelling at this point. Like, there's probably so much more to tell, and that's what I'm mostly looking forward to, is them specifying what comes next, what could be the end all be all of the show, and just what we have to look forward to. If this war ends quickly, is there going to be something after it, or is this war going to not start until maybe 2 episodes, and then when it starts, it lasts for a while? That type of deal. So I'm not sure, but I can't wait to find out. With that being said, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. I am the Anime G, and I appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you so much, and peace.